When you're young, it's easy to feel the pressure of expectations, family, society, even yourself. You think about security, stability, and what's considered a smart choice. But let me tell you something. The smartest choice you'll ever make is to follow what truly lights you up inside. It may sound simple, almost naive, but in reality, it's the most profound decision you can make. There's something magical about listening to that little voice inside you, the one that knows what you love before anyone else does. That voice is pure, unfiltered, and honest. It doesn't care about titles, bank balances, or what anyone else thinks. It knows what excites you, what keeps you awake at night, and what makes the world feel a little brighter when you think about it. Now, the world will tell you to ignore that voice. It will tell you to choose what's practical or what looks good on paper. It will dangle shiny rewards in front of you, money, status, and comfort, and it'll whisper in your ear that these things are what life is all about. But deep down, you know better. You know that a life spent chasing things you don't truly care about will never feel whole, no matter how much money you make. When you follow your passion, something extraordinary happens. Work stops feeling like work. Challenges stop feeling like roadblocks and start feeling like puzzles you're excited to solve. You find yourself giving your best because it doesn't feel like an obligation. It feels like an extension of who you are. And that's where the magic is, when what you do aligns so deeply with what you love that it doesn't just become your career, it becomes your life. But here's the thing, it won't always be easy. Pursuing what you love means stepping into the unknown. It means embracing uncertainty, taking risks, and sometimes failing spectacularly. But you know what's worse than failing? Never trying. Waking up one day and realizing that you traded your time, your energy, and your potential for something that never truly mattered to you. That's the real failure, and it's one you can avoid by simply listening to yourself and taking that leap. You don't need a detailed roadmap or a perfect plan to start. Most of the time, you won't even know where the path is going to lead, and that's okay. Trust the process. Trust that if you're doing something you love, the dots will connect in ways you can't even imagine yet. And trust that the joy you feel while pursuing your passion will be worth more than any paycheck or promotion could ever give you. When you align yourself with your passion, it's not just about what you create. It's about how you live. You approach life with a sense of purpose, energy, and creativity that's contagious. You inspire others, not by preaching or persuading, but simply by being fully alive in what you do. That kind of energy draws people in. It attracts opportunities, ideas, and yes, even financial rewards. But those rewards are just a side effect. The real treasure is the feeling of knowing you're doing what you're meant to do. The world doesn't need more people chasing money. It needs people who are on fire with passion, who create from the heart, and who are unafraid to take risks in the name of doing something meaningful. If you choose that path, you might not get rich right away. You might not even get recognized immediately, but you'll wake up every day knowing you're living authentically, and that's a kind of wealth no one can take away from you. So ask yourself what excites you. What would you do even if no one paid you to do it? What makes you feel alive? Whatever your answer is, follow it, trust it, nurture it. It's not going to lead you astray, even if the journey feels uncertain at times. Because in the end, the only regrets you'll have are the chances you didn't take. If you follow your passion, everything else will fall into place. And even if it doesn't turn out exactly as you planned, you'll have lived a life that's true to yourself. That's worth more than anything money can buy. There's a moment in every pursuit, no matter how passionate you are about it, when things get hard, really hard, the kind of hard that makes you question whether it's all worth it. Maybe it's a failure that feels too big to recover from, or maybe it's the voices of others telling you that it's time to quit and choose something safer, something easier. It's in those moments that your passion becomes your greatest ally. Because passion isn't just the thing that gets you started. It's the thing that keeps you going. It's what fuels you when everything else seems to be falling apart, when the setbacks come, and they will. It's not logic or practicality that will pull you through. It's the deep, unshakable belief that what you're doing matters, that it's worth the struggle, and that you couldn't imagine doing anything else. Think about it. If your only reason for doing something is money or recognition, what happens when those things don't come right away? What happens when the results take longer than you expected, or when the rewards don't feel as satisfying as you thought they would? Most people give up. They decide it wasn't meant to be, and they move on to something else, hoping it'll be easier next time. But when you're driven by passion, you don't stop. You can't stop because it's not about the outcome, it's about the work itself. Passion makes the hard days bearable. It gives you a reason to get back up when you've been knocked down. It lets you see failures not as endings, but as stepping stones, as lessons that are shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. Without passion, those failures feel like dead ends. But with passion, they become part of the journey, a necessary part, even if they're painful at the time. Let's be honest, the road to doing what you love is rarely smooth. It's messy, unpredictable, and often filled with more obstacles than you anticipated. There will be times when it feels like the universe is testing you, throwing everything it can in your path to see if you'll turn back. And in those moments, you have a choice. You can let the challenges defeat you, or you can let your passion remind you why you started in the first place. Passion gives you resilience, but it also gives you perspective. When you're truly invested in something you care about, the setbacks don't feel as devastating. They're just part of the process, part of the story you're building. And the best stories are never the ones where everything goes perfectly. They're the ones where the hero faces adversity, learns from it, and comes out stronger on the other side. But here's the secret. It's not just about pushing through the tough times. It's about embracing them, even finding joy in them. Because when you love what you do, even the struggles feel meaningful. They're not just obstacles. They're opportunities to grow, to improve, and to prove to yourself just how much this matters to you. Passion doesn't guarantee success, but it does guarantee commitment. And commitment is what ultimately leads to success. It's what separates the people who achieve extraordinary things from those who settle for less. The ones who stick with it, who keep showing up even when it's hard, are the ones who eventually break through. And that breakthrough is worth every moment of struggle. If you've ever felt lost or uncertain about the path you're on, ask yourself this. What would you fight for, even when it feels impossible? What would you keep doing, even if no one else believed in you? That's where your passion lies. That's where your strength comes from. And that's what will carry you through the moments when everything else feels like it's falling apart. The truth is, you can choose to play it safe, to avoid the risks and the hardships. But in doing so, you miss out on the chance to discover what you're truly capable of. You miss out on the chance to create something that's uniquely yours, something that could only come from the fire of your passion. And isn't that worth fighting for? Isn't that worth the risk? The challenges will come. The failures will come. But so will the triumphs, the breakthroughs, and the moments that make it all worthwhile. And when those moments come, you'll look back on the hard times and realize they weren't obstacles after all. They were the foundation of everything you've built. There's an undeniable truth about the world we live in. People are drawn to value. But value isn't something you can fake or manufacture. It's something that comes from a genuine place, and the only way to create real value is to do what you love. When you work on something you're truly passionate about, the energy you bring to it is different. You pay attention to details that others might overlook. You push yourself harder, not because you have to, but because you want to. That level of care, that depth of involvement, it's what makes what you create stand out. And when people see something extraordinary, they respond to it. They want to be a part of it, they want to support it, and they're willing to pay for it. Money, success, and recognition, they're all byproducts of the value you create. And value is born from passion. If you chase money directly, you might make some in the short term, but it's not sustainable. Why? Because without passion, you'll eventually run out of steam. The work becomes a chore, and it shows in the results. But when you're driven by something you care about deeply, the results reflect that, and those results resonate with people in a way that no marketing campaign ever could. People often get it backward. They think, I'll do this job I don't care about for a few years, make some money, and then I'll have the freedom to pursue what I really love. But it doesn't work that way. When you're not passionate about something, you're not giving it your best. You're not creating value, and without value, the rewards, whether financial or otherwise, will always be limited. On the other hand, when you follow your passion, the work itself becomes the reward. You wake up excited to dive in, to solve problems, to create. And that enthusiasm is infectious. It inspires those around you, whether they're coworkers, customers, or collaborators. It's not just about what you're doing. It's about the way you're doing it. People can feel the difference between something that's been done out of obligation and something that's been done with love and care. Passion-driven work also has a way of leading to unexpected opportunities. When you're fully immersed in something you care about, you start to see connections that others miss. You innovate not because you're trying to, but because it's a natural extension of your curiosity and creativity. That innovation creates even more value, which in turn creates more opportunities. It's a cycle, and it all starts with doing what you love. Of course, there's a leap of faith involved. Choosing passion over money can feel risky, especially when the rewards aren't immediate. But here's the thing, anything worth doing requires some level of risk. The question is, are you willing to bet on yourself? Are you willing to trust that if you give your best to something you love, the rest will take care of itself? Some might say, but what if I fail? What if I pour my heart into something and it doesn't work out? That's a valid fear, but let me ask you this. What's the alternative? To spend your life doing something you don't care about, just to avoid the possibility of failure? That's not living, that's just existing, and the irony is, even if you do fail, the skills, the connections, and the growth you gain from pursuing your passion will serve you in ways you can't predict. Success isn't just about reaching a specific goal. It's about the journey. It's about the person you become along the way. And when you're doing something you love, every step of that journey feels meaningful. The money will come, but it won't be the thing that defines you. What defines you is the value you create, the impact you have on the world around you. In the end, people don't remember you for how much money you made. They remember you for what you contributed, for how you made them feel, for the way your work changed their lives. That's the kind of legacy you can only build when you're driven by passion. And the beautiful thing is, when you focus on creating value, the rewards take care of themselves. You don't have to chase them. They come to you naturally and abundantly. So don't make the mistake of thinking you have to choose between passion and practicality. The most practical thing you can do is to follow your passion, because that's where true value lies. And where there's value, everything else follows. We often find ourselves caught in the chase for what the world tells us is success. Money, accolades, status, and sure, achieving those things can feel good in the moment. But let me ask you this, does it fill you up? Does it give you a sense of purpose that lasts longer than the applause? The truth is, fulfillment doesn't come from what you have, it comes from what you do. When you wake up every morning and do something you love, something that excites you, there's a satisfaction that money can't buy. It's a quiet joy, a deep contentment that comes from knowing you're spending your time on something that matters to you. That's the kind of fulfillment that changes how you see the world, and it's the kind that stays with you long after the excitement of external rewards fades. Now, some might argue that money is the ultimate goal because it provides freedom and security. And yes, those things are important, but here's the catch. If you're not doing work that fulfills you, no amount of money will ever feel like enough. You'll keep chasing more, hoping it will make you happy, but it never will. Because happiness doesn't come from accumulation. It comes from alignment. Alignment between what you love, what you do, and who you are. Doing what you love gives your life a rhythm, a flow. It makes every effort feel worthwhile, every obstacle feel surmountable. It's the difference between enduring your work and embracing it. And when you're fully engaged in something you care about, the rewards stop being about external validation. They become internal, a sense of pride, of accomplishment, of knowing you're living authentically. There's something powerful about living this way. When you're driven by fulfillment rather than material gain, you start to see the world differently. You're not constantly comparing yourself to others because you're too busy enjoying your own journey. You're not chasing someone else's idea of success because you've found your own, and that freedom, that independence, is priceless. Think about the times in your life when you felt truly alive, truly yourself. I guarantee those moments weren't about a paycheck or a trophy. They were about connection. Connection to your work, to your passion, to the people around you. Those are the moments that define a life well lived. And they are only possible when you choose fulfillment over superficial success. Of course, this path isn't always easy. It requires courage to step away from the expectations of others, to say no to opportunities that might pay well but don't feel right. It requires clarity to know what you truly want and discipline to stay focused on it. But the rewards are worth it because they're real. They're not fleeting like applause or promotions. They're lasting, like the pride of creating something meaningful or the joy of knowing you're doing exactly what you were meant to do. This doesn't mean money doesn't matter. It does, but only as a tool to support the life you want to live. It should never be the reason you get out of bed in the morning, because when you're doing what you love, the money takes care of itself. Maybe not immediately, but eventually, and even if it doesn't come in the way you expect, you'll still have something far more valuable, a life that feels rich in meaning, purpose, and joy. The beauty of choosing fulfillment is that it's not just about you. When you're doing work you love, your energy and enthusiasm ripple outwards. You inspire others, not by trying to, but simply by living authentically. You create work that resonates with people, that makes them feel something. And that impact, that connection, is far more rewarding than anything money can buy. So ask yourself, what kind of life do you want to live? One that's defined by numbers in a bank account, or one that's filled with moments of joy, purpose, and connection? It's a choice only you can make, but it's one that will shape everything about your future. In the end, no one looks back on their life and wishes they had made more money. They wish they had spent more time doing what they love with the people they care about in a way that felt true to who they are. And the good news is you can make that choice right now. You can choose fulfillment over financial gain, meaning over materialism, and passion over practicality. Because that's where true success lies, not in what you have, but in how you live. Life is short. It's a phrase we hear often, but rarely do we stop to truly think about it. Every day, every moment is a chance to either move closer to the life we want or drift further away from it. The question is, how are you spending your moments? Are you pouring them into something that fills you with excitement and purpose? Or are you trading them away for something that feels empty? There's a powerful truth that becomes clearer as you go through life. Time is your most precious resource. You can earn back money, rebuild relationships, even restore your health to some degree. But time, once it's gone, and that's why it's so important to make sure you're spending your time on things that matter, things that ignite your passion and align with who you truly are. When you pursue what you love, every day feels like it has meaning. It doesn't matter if you're starting small or facing obstacles. The act of doing something that resonates with you makes the effort worthwhile. You wake up with a sense of purpose, knowing that what you're doing isn't just a way to pass the time. It's a way to honor it. And when you look back, you'll see a life that wasn't just lived, but lived fully. Many people spend their lives waiting for the right time. They think they'll start pursuing their passions when they're more financially stable, or when their schedule clears up, or when the stars somehow align. But the truth is, there's never a perfect time. Waiting for the perfect moment is just another way of avoiding the risk, the uncertainty, and the work that comes with following your heart. And in that waiting, time slips by. If you let fear or practicality dictate your choices, you may find yourself looking back one day and wondering where all the time went. You may realize that you've built a life that looks good on the outside, but feels hollow on the inside. That's not the kind of life anyone dreams of. But it's the life so many people settle for because they're afraid to take the leap. But here's the thing, the leap is worth it. Choosing to follow your passion isn't just about the work you do. It's about the life you live. It's about the stories you'll have to tell, the memories you'll create, and the impact you'll leave behind. When you dedicate your time to something that truly matters to you, every experience feels richer, every connection feels deeper, and every success feels more rewarding. Think about the people who inspire you. Chances are they're not the ones who played it safe, who stayed in their comfort zones, or who lived their lives according to someone else's expectations. They're the ones who dared to take risks, to do what they loved even when it was hard. They're the ones who understood that time is too valuable to waste on anything less than what sets their souls on fire. Time isn't just about hours and minutes, it's about energy and focus. When you're doing something you love, your energy multiplies. You find yourself willing to stay up late, to wake up early, to pour everything you have into your work, not because you have to, but because you want to. That kind of dedication doesn't feel like sacrifice. It feels like living. And that's the beauty of following your passion. It transforms how you experience time itself. Of course, this path isn't without challenges. There will be moments of doubt, times when you question whether it's all worth it. But those moments are fleeting compared to the regret of never trying. Regret is a heavy burden, and it grows heavier with time. But passion lightens the load. It gives you a reason to keep going, even when the road gets tough. So what are you waiting for? There's no guarantee of tomorrow, no promise that you'll have endless time to figure things out. The only guarantee is this moment, right now. And in this moment, you have the power to choose. You can choose to keep waiting, or you can choose to start living, truly living, in a way that honors your passions and makes the most of the time you've been given. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let excuses keep you stuck. Take the leap, follow your passion, and create a life that's not just about making a living, but about making a difference. Because in the end, the time you spend on what you love isn't just an investment in your future. It's a celebration of the present. And that's a life worth living.